Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reacting to and breaking down Evil Season 1 Episode 4, Rose390. Check my notes. I'm not going to backtrack into last episode. I think what I might do is add in a couple scenes to recap. But we'll see. If I don't do it, it's because it wouldn't let me put it up. Jumping on in to episode 4, Rose390. This episode begins with Kristen, David, and Ben hired to evaluate a 9-year-old boy named Eric, who seems to be psychopathic. His parents say that he has drastically changed over the past 2 years. The changes were small at first, whining, name-calling, but soon it escalated to wanting his baby sister dead and trying to poison the entire family. The parents tried numerous therapists, but with conflicting diagnoses, pronunciation, and a bunch of different prescription medications, they have reached out to the church as a last resort. Ben thinks Eric's behavior could be caused by environmental factors. However, Kristen thinks the boy shows signs of psychopathic tendencies. David has a conversation with Eric in which he tells the boy sometimes you have to fake it till you make it, because he has no feeling. He's an actual blank slate. He feels nothing about nothing. It's not even that he doesn't even care. He feels nothing. Like at one point, the parents have the fridge is locked, the cupboards are locked. They tend to sleep, the baby sister, there's a middle sister, and the two parents tend to sleep in one room with that door locked, and then the boy is in his room and his door's locked. Everybody's just behind doors and everything's locked, and it's mad. They say, David and he says it to the mother as well, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. He's never going to be, if he's a sociopath or a psychopath and he doesn't feel the way we feel, he's never going to, no therapy and no drug in the world is going to give you feelings or emotions, right? You either have them or you do not. But he said, the hope being that if you fake it till you make it, then you learn, societal rules and norms and how to emulate them properly and get along and better yourself in society, was kind of his hope and what he was aiming for with that statement, right? And by playing by the rules, he wants to become a comic book artist. So, yeah, that's the thing. The boy is very interested in comic books and comic book art and all that kind of stuff. And they sort of bond over that when they come to meet the boy. David ends up talking to him about comics. Something the boy said about wanting to do something to the family or whatever was an idea that he'd gotten from reading a comic book, which he denied at first. And then when David, started talking about comic books and about that particular comic and story and whatever, he was like, yeah, maybe I did read it. And they sort of bonded over that, and the boy came to really trust David over the comic book thing.
You got good taste in comics. You ever read any of the Ogre 7 collection?
No.
It's a story about immortal kids who play hide and seek through time. I'm surprised you haven't read any of it. In Volume 4, Simona dares Patrick to jump onto the railroad tracks and count to 42 before he can get off.
Maybe I did read that one and forgot.
And David was ecstatic about it. He thought that that was just the cat's ass, right? He also tells Eric that asking God for what he wants will help. So, like, don't call it praying, he says. Consider it asking God for what you want, right? If Eric has faith and acts upon it, you know, there's a good chance he'll get what he wants, right? Misinterpreting David's words, Eric asks God to take away his baby sister, and the boy drowns her in the pool, but David saves her. That was heart-wrenching. So Eric's mom calls David and is like, you know, oh, he's you know, a different kid. He's blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much. Like, she's just so happy. She's like in tears. She's so happy. And she says how much he really seems to like David, and, you know, David offers to come and, well, the mother had found out about the faking till you make it talk that they had, and that the boy wanted to learn how to draw comic book style and whatever. And David was like, well, I know the basics. As a reward, I will come teach him the basics, and then I can look around and find somebody like a programmer or whatever to get him into, right? As a, you know, keep it up, here's your reward, right? He was so, all of them were just so ecstatic. They were just so happy. And David was just beaming about sort of like being a mentor or whatever for this kid, right? So when he goes into the backyard and they're talking about the drawing and whatever, and he looks in the pool and he sees like a bundle in, like, just at the bottom of the pool, right? He figures it out. He dives in and saves the baby. And just the heartbreak on David's face is just... So the team decides to perform an emergency exorcism, but when they arrive at the house, Eric's parents say he is missing. The team, however, knows that is not true, and that his parents killed him to protect their other two daughters. And the realization of that, like, they go to, I can't remember the other priest's name, but the one that does the exorcisms, I can't remember his name, but they go to him and they all, like, equally, like, something has to be done. Like, he is going to kill this family, right? They were convinced. You know, if and even Kristen, like, if medication and therapy and whatever is not going to work, like, it takes too much time. These people are in danger now. Like, it was an intense scene. But when they all go to the house together, and there's, you know, police cars with their lights going and everything, and they get up to the door, and the mother answers the door, and all, you know, all the police are in the, you can see them in the house, and, you know, the father's holding the baby, and the middle daughter or whatever is, like, you know, she's there with the dad and everything, and they're all sort of clinging together and whatever, and they've reported Eric is missing, right? So they're dealing with, like, a missing child situation in the house, and the mother just breaks down and starts crying, right? They're explaining this to the team, and she just breaks down and starts crying, and she looks over at Kristen and kind of leans into her, and she's like, you know, I love all my children equally, but when one is in danger, like, I have to protect them. It doesn't matter, right? And she just starts, like, that blank, sort of faceless, helpless, I've given up sort of cry. Like, her face is just heartbreaking. And then she slowly shuts the door, and you can see the realization coming in on all the team's faces, and they all just sort of look at each other, and David is just devastated. It was really heartbreaking. It was a very intense scene. Meanwhile, Kristen's daughters play a scary horror game using some augmented reality goggles. I have never heard of this before. I guess it's a real thing. I know it. Is it the same as virtual reality? It's got to be the same thing as virtual reality. They've just given a name to the goggles. Anyways, not my area. Augmented reality goggles that the grandma bought for them. The girls are really scared by the game, but they lie to their mom about playing it, eventually telling her the truth about the game. Ben enables the parental controls on the goggles, but a scary player from the game by the name of Rose390 finds a way to break through. Rose390 tells the two eldest girls that their dad is dead, but Kristen tells them this is not true. And this kid is some creepy. Like, this game is actually really kind of cool. Like, they the older girls are the ones that start the game, of course, right? And they're walking through the house, and, they're seeing, they pick this haunted, creepy game. There's a couple of games on there. And they pick the haunted, creepy one, right? And they're walking through the house, and they can see, like, these big, obviously fake spiders. Like, they're, But, I mean, if something like that jumped out at me, if fake be damned. It's fake. You're wearing, you're in a game. Listen, I would jump out of my skin. I'm so jumpy. I could not do virtual reality. I would die. Like, actually. But this kid actually gets them to do like a virtual Ouija board. And she says it's a way for them to like advance in the game and get to the next level, right? But as they're doing it, it's like a goat demon thing. The big bad of the game, I guess, starts to come out of this like chest box, and Ben breaks it up, right? When he looks in and he sees this goat demon thing, and of course now it's paused. He tells him, look, this is not suitable for you guys. Like, it's done, right? Then Kristen come home and they take off and whatever, right? They, carry on. But the kid that is Rose390 is just creepy as fuck. Kids are creepy. And this is like, I mean, she doesn't show up. She says she's another player, right? And she's trying to help the girls learn how to play the game, but she doesn't look anything like the other girls. Now, she looks like part of the game, right? Never having played, I'm assuming that would be like your skin or your whatever they call that. But anyways, she's very off. Everything about her is off. She's creepy as fuck. They do such a good job. At the end of the episode, the girls tell their mom that Rose390 is still able to interact with them because they didn't close the game properly. So at least the one girl is kind of lying in bed with Kristen. I think it was the youngest one. It's the youngest one, I think, that has the heart problem. And that's what I was thinking about the whole game. Like, this kid's gonna have a heart attack and die. Like, holy shit. Didn't happen. But I think it was her that was laying in bed with her mom, and she said, the kids have been talking at school about this game, and I heard that, unless you say goodbye on the Ouija board in the game is still on, right? Can we have the goggles back and close the game? And Kristen says, I don't know, like we'll see, right? It just kind of ends. Yeah. So, weird things on there. That's just kind of left hanging. Some afterthoughts. Yeah, I was thinking this game would scare the shit out of me, 100%. I actually wrote that on here. I was thinking at some point when the kids first put the goggles on and they're walking through the upper part of the house, right? Because Grandma's downstairs. When they're walking through the upper part of the house, they walk into the bathroom and they see all kinds of crazy. Okay, so I had to switch rooms after charging my battery to finish this off. Excuse me if I'm shaking, but now I'm holding my camera. So, I mean, we do with what we can. Anyways, I was pretty much done. I think I was talking about George the Demon. when the kids were walking into, when they were first trying the goggles, they're walking through the house and, you know, they're spooking each other and whatever. The younger ones are, you know, moaning and complaining about it's their turn, whatever. They walk into the bathroom and there's like this disgusting murder thing happening in the bathroom, and, you know, they give it to the little ones, let the little ones try it. They walk into Kristen's bedroom once the little ones have the goggles on, and of course they're not seeing anything, right? Everything looks normal, whatever. They walk into their mother's bedroom and they hear these weird noises, and my mind immediately went to, oh, George the Demon, because he was awesome.
Something scary, like a cobweb, you know?
Something scary.
What, did you hear something?
What is it?
Do you see something?
But it wasn't. That's when they do the whole Ouija thing and whatever. But I was really, really thinking that they were going to meet George. But I think we figured out that that was a character from like an online show or something that they'd been streaming, right? Anyways, that's what I was immediately went to when that happened. I found that mildly entertaining. Anyways, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really well done. I liked the incorporation of like a virtual reality game, and something really scary and creepy. Now that we know that there's something wrong with the daughter, it just gives an extra layer of, right? I thought it was really, really well done. And then leaving it kind of open-ended, like nothing was really solved with this game, right? Because they technically haven't stopped playing the game, right? So it's interesting. It's interesting. I feel like we're going to come back to it at some point, right? Anyways, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed it along with me. So until next time, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next